What's up, and welcome to the No Bullshit Manifestation Show. I'm your host, Kat Kozad, manifestation expert, money mindset and fulfillment coach, and multiple six-figure entrepreneur. Come sit with me while I spill the real tea on what it's like to practice using intentional manifestation, demystify all of the woo-woo and confusing bullshit that comes along with creating the life of your dreams, and give you a realistic view of what it's like to be on a personal, spiritual, and professional growth journey. The goal of this podcast is to support and guide you towards manifesting all of your dreams, shed light on the things that people are too scared to talk about, and encourage you to become the person who gets to have it all, be it all, and do it all. I am so happy you are here. Let's fucking do this thing. What's up, loves? Welcome back. Oh my goodness, I have such a powerful guest coming on to the podcast to chat about her personal experience and about confidence and judgment and all of these things that specifically as women we face and oftentimes allow to affect us. To put it plain and simple, to affect us in a way that doesn't allow us to live the lives that we want to live and shine our lights in the way that we want to shine our lights, and how a lot of it comes through societal pressures and expectations and things that we have been taught to be quote unquote good women. And Martha Mok, who is our guest today, comes on and shares her experience and how through her super challenging background, she has been able to fully step into her light, step into her power, and now help other women do the exact same in their lives and in their businesses. So with that being said, like I said, we are bringing Martha Mok onto the show today, and Martha guides women who have had similar experiences that she had, such as being in an abusive marriage, bullied at school from a young age, being sexually molested by someone that she really trusted, and helps these women find themselves again and release their past so that it's no longer holding them back. Martha is also known as the Super Confidence Coach. She is an international motivational speaker, multiple business owner, entrepreneur, multi-award winning international makeup artist, hairstylist, and author. This woman does it all. And she coaches in areas such as life, business, self-worth, and relationships. Her specialty, though, is empowering new coaches to run profitable coaching businesses. By using her knowledge and personal experiences, she empowers others to improve their life situations and achieve happiness by unlocking their potential from within. Her mission is to not let any women suffer in silence like she did. And in addition to that, she has recently been featured in Yahoo Finance as the top 1% of confident and business coaches in Australia. So super fucking powerful guest to have onto the podcast today to share her experiences and all of her wisdoms with you. I hope that if this episode resonates with you, that you check out the show notes down below and go check out what Martha has to offer and how she can help you on your journey. But without a further ado, let's get into the episode and have Martha on to share all of these wisdoms. Alrighty, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of the No Bullshit Manifestation Show. Today, I have the incredible Martha Mok with me to share her story and talk to all of us about confidence and stepping into the most confident version of yourself. So, Martha, thank you so much for coming on to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So let's kick this off with you sharing your story. What has happened to lead you to where you are today and who you are today?
Great. I always like to share as I'm someone that who was in silence for over 30 years. Someone's that who've been told that you should shut up, put your head down, and just be the woman that I am born culturally into it. And I am a rebel. I'm definitely someone that who do not believe that we are only born to be doing a certain role. So I developed my own business since the age of 26, very successfully for the last 17 years. And then COVID hit. When COVID hit, it was a big changes in all of our life. And of course, we feel scared. We feel we lost our directions and we lost our sense of what can I do next. But I always believe in one thing. As long as we don't give up, there will be always options. There will be always way. You just need to be clear about what you wanting to do. So I become the super confident coach. I help people to find confidence from within because we all have it. However, we believe in that we must be perfect before we can be confident. And I do not believe in that because we are already good enough in the way we are. As long as we understand what is our minimum level and keep doing it every single day, we are already good enough.
Mm. Ooh, I love that. I love the concept of like the minimum level because I
Mm,
think a lot of the times we think about like, okay, on my best day, I can achieve X, Y, and Z, but we don't think
mm.
about like on those days that kind of just feel like shit or that we don't feel like the best versions of ourselves, like what we can still accomplish and who we can be on those days. So, would you share, like, from your own experience, how did you find out on those days, like, what your minimum is?
I have a plan in my head before about what is the minimum do I need to do in my life, in my relationship, in my work. What is the most minimum I have to do that I know it won't suffer no matter what state I was in? I see a lot of business owners, they actually say, oh, if I'm sick, especially during this COVID season, people just stop everything and curl up in bed and all of that. Yes or no, you are allowed to look after yourself, you're allowed to look better, but unless that you have a team or someone to replace you to get the business going, you must do your minimum. Otherwise, your business will just suffer. We all work so hard to get what we want. Even in relationship, in our business world, we have to put in some effort before the return will come. We always have to believe in that because what is the differences between a dream and manifest? A dream is someone that would just keep thinking about, oh, I'm going to win the lottery. I'm going to have all of this. I'm going to have all of that. Then sit down watching Netflix in a tub of ice cream. That is what a dream is about. But a manifest is about having the idea, the vision, the goal that you wanted to get, then take small steps on the side to achieve that goal and to make it happen. So that's how I see it differently. So that's what I mean by having the bare minimum. I was really sick for since early this year due to COVID. I was one of the lucky lottery winner for COVID. I got it, and lucky I wasn't too bad, but I was feeling sick for quite a many days. But what was my bare minimum is that I need to keep my social presence. It took me a long time to build up my social presence, but as soon as the world don't see you, they forget about you. And with Facebook or Instagram and all of that, if you don't been seen for a while, your algorithm will go down. So what you have to work double as hard to get your business back to going. So it's so important that you just need to do a simple post every single day. Sometimes it could be just a sentence. Sometimes I see an image from somewhere else and I just post it and put a few words in it. So it doesn't matter how sick I was, doesn't matter how unwell I was feeling. That was the bare minimum that I was doing for my business. So in my relationship, even that I was very sick, not feeling well at all, it doesn't hurt to ask the other person, how are you feeling too? How was your day? That is a bare minimum of care and love and attention that you can give to another person. And like manifestation said, if you want something back, you must first give. So that's how I see it, giving and receiving.
hmm Absolutely. And I love that you can apply that to business, relationships, your relationship to yourself, your finances, whatever it is, because I know so many of the listeners do have businesses, but then there's so many that also don't. And knowing that that is something that you can apply in all areas of your life, not just as a business owner, is so important. And I want to take it back to your story and like, What helped you get to this place right now of like this confidence that you do have? And really, from that lens of like, you didn't have to be perfect to be confident. If you feel comfortable sharing, what were some of the really challenging things that you had to overcome or step out of when you were in that silence?
I would say that I come from a 19 years abusive marriage. Someone who been told that I should just be the perfect wife, someone just cook, someone just looking after the household. That was my role. And when I didn't meet their requirement, I become the one that who feel very insecure about who I was. So after that 19 years abusive marriage, even during the same time, I was running my business very successfully. On the outside, I was someone that was very confident. I know what I'm doing in business and I was well respected in my industry. At home, all I get was, you're not good enough. You're worthless. You're not even worth a pile of dirt. That was the contrast that I get every single day. And anyone will be actually breaking it into a point that either you resist or you will actually continue to go down the rabbit hole. And during that time, it was on my 40th birthday. I asked myself, what do I want in life? I have success in my business. I have good financial support. I have good living of life standard. What do I still want in my life? And I asked myself and I said, I only wanted to be happy and find someone that who would treasure me for who I am. So
Mhm.
that helped me to make my decision of moving away from him on my 40th birthday, saying that I have to end this marriage to actually find myself. It took me a while, but I believe that, you know what? I know I'm a kick ass woman. I know that I'm a badass business owner. I know that I'm a kind, loving person that deserves to find love. And it did take me about a year and a half before I found my current partner. Yesterday was actually our anniversary as well of meeting. And it was a great memory to see that how far we have come and how beautiful it is when you find the right person. Because when you find the right person, they will be there for you no matter what. They may not how to express it in words like you do. As a woman, we expect a lot of things. We expect them to be like a woman to be we separated to us. It's like, oh, I'm not well. I expect them to ask, oh, have you have water? Have you do this? I want to send you hug and kisses. We expect our partners to do that for us. Unfortunately, we forgot we picked them as a man. Unless that you're going out with a lady or lesbian, that's a different story. That's why I love their relationship because they understand what they want. But if we're going for the opposite sex, they are a completely different person. So we can't have this expectation in our head about what we want from our partner. Instead, setting out boundaries and requirement of what you want and not be afraid to express it out, because in my 19 years of abusive marriage, that was one thing I didn't know how to do. I didn't know how to express myself without anger. I didn't know how to express myself without all that expectation. Now I have learned it from my mistake, from my own learning, that I know how to express without anger. I know how to actually set down my requirement and boundaries and let other people know what I need and not be afraid to ask. It was tough coming from someone who has been in silence for so long to be
Mhm.
start asking for help, to be start asking for what I want. And like I always say, you don't have to do it like a bungee jump. You don't have to do it like jumping out of a plane. You only need to take a 3 millimeter shift every single day. Every bunny step that you take will help you to get where you wanted to go. But you must have the confidence to start taking it first. It's not about being perfect. It's just about getting it started. So that 3 millimeter shift every single day is what you're going to get better. I didn't leak out my whole life beforehand. I leak out a little bit from abusive marriage to being bullied at school since the age of 6. And then the last thing for me to come out was being sexually molested by someone I trust from a very young age. So all of that take times and courage to build up, but you must start if you wanted to have a different result. You must start if you want something different to be coming into you. That start is breaking through that barrier so you can get what you want in life. We often hope for a different result by doing the same action. It won't work because we've been trying it for 40 years of my life, did not see any differences. So why not take a new approach, a different approach? And it doesn't have to be a complete change. It just start with a tiny little bit at each day to make yourself better.
Oh, so fucking good. I had chills multiple times as you were saying that. And there's so many things that stood out to me as you're sharing your experience in that. So, first of all, thank you for sharing all of that because I know and I get so many messages from women who have been in abusive relationships, who've been sexually assaulted by people that they trust, by family members, etc. And I've been in that circumstance as well. So, I know this is going to resonate with so many people. And one of the biggest things that stood out to me as you said that is like at the age of 40, you said, no more. And there's so many women that I've talked to that are just like, I'm too old. This is the path that I've been on. This is the path that I have to continue down. It's too late for me to change my life. And you said, fuck no, like this gets to be the beginning of something new for me. And I get to shift, I get to change, and that it didn't have to be this massive step that got you to that place. It was little shift by little shift by little shift by little shift to equal this massive shift that you've created now. And so, my question for you is for the woman who is in that position that you were at when you first were like, okay, something has to change. Like I'm ready for something different. What could a little step look like for them?
Firstly, I was so depressed during the time that
Mhm.
I said to myself, I only wanted to live up to 60 years old because I would have experience enough in life and I don't need any more. So I have 20 years left when I was on my 40th birthday. I said, what do I want to do in these 20 years of time? So I was suggested to think about it as a human. We're all going to die. We don't know what will happen the next day. Are you willing to give up and live your life like this for don't know how much time you have left, but in the state that you're in right now? Or are you wanting a different result? That would be the first step because you must have your vision. You must realize that time is not on your side. Time is something that you cannot control, but we try to make the most of whatever time we have. So that's the first vision of asking yourself, is that what I want for the time that I have left in this world?
Mhm.
So if that's not, then what do I need to do next? Look for a mentor, look for a coach, look for someone that you can trust that they have the experience, that understanding, then asking for help. We often go to our relative or friends that we know to get advice from. Unfortunately, most of them are not trained in the area. They're not the professional that who can actually give you their advice. And that's the differences. And I was so grateful that during the time of my recovery, I have people who are a consultant, a therapist, a psychologist, who actually helped me to get my thinking differently because it's all about that 2 second of a mindset shift. You cannot focus on a happy emotion and a sad emotion at the same time. As human, we can only control on one emotion at a time. We could be crying and smiling, but we are more sad than when we're laughing because when we're laughing, we cannot cry because we is our emotion can be only focused at one at a time. So having professional help, they help you to step out what you need to do next. How can I actually get better? So asking for professional help would be my second tips for people because asking for a friend, they may not understanding what you're going through and they may not be able to get you the best advice. So ask for support. that is the key to go to. If you can't afford to go and find a coach or find a guidance, there's all government support, female group that you can go into and ask for free support. And I'm in the process of developing my nonprofit organization as well, called the Confident Project, to help women who've been into abuse to find that support that they need. Because I believe just by a little bit of help, we can all see things a lot more clear. And once we have clarity, we will be able to make the little bit braver decision of what I need to do next. So having that guidance, having the support will be a big help for us. And the third tip that I wanted to give is it's not about getting it perfect. It's just about getting it started. Yes, you wake up the next morning feeling shit. You make up that feeling like that you're alone. You can focus on that thinking and go down the rabbit hole. Or you can think, wow, I'm finally free. I'm finally in charge of what I want. I'm finally on my progress of going into my vision and my goal. So focusing on what you don't have yet or focusing on what I'm missing out on is also a mindset decisions that you can make. I'm in the process of getting what I want, or I don't have this, I don't have that. It's exactly the same outcome, meaning that you don't have the things yet. However, I'm in the process of achieving what I want. It's a lot more motivating and a lot more inspiring for you to keep going.
Yeah. Oh, so true. And such incredible steps for all of the people listening who may relate to this to start to take that action because it's so true. All of those steps that you said, the first one being like asking yourself the question is if today was my last day, would I be happy with how my life is going? That's a question that I started asking myself a few years back is like, if today was my last day, would I be okay with this? And when the answer was no, I was like, shit, it is. It's time for me to change something. And going into the second piece of what you said is like asking for help and support and guidance from professionals and from people who are not biased, who are not going to give you just what you want to hear or are not in the position that you want to be, because ultimately we wouldn't be happy to trade lives with them or be in the position that they are in. We don't really need their advice. And I know that that's challenging for a lot of people out there. I'd say specifically women, because we have been conditioned to believe that like we turn to our friends, we turn to our families, we turn to all of these people for the advice, but they don't have that life. We totally don't have to. So tying back into the confidence piece, what would you say for your specific unique journey were some of like the internal pieces, like the inner work that you had to do to step into that confidence, knowing that it was okay that it wasn't perfect?
My biggest thing was understanding what my insecurity are. What
Mm.
are some of the requirements that I have set on myself that are too high, that I didn't achieve it and it make me feel bad? So by looking at insecurity, because they are directly opposite to your confidence, knowing what your insecurity is, then you can break it down onto, okay, how do I see these things differently? Like I mentioned before, it's all about a mindset shift of what we are looking at. Hey, I am overweight. I'm not looking good. I'm not pretty enough. Or I'm healthy. I have my limbs. I can walk every single day and I have a choice to smile. Exactly the same thing, but I can actually see it in a different way. So when you can look at things from a different angle, that's when you're starting to build confidence in yourself by breaking down your insecurity. Because we all have insecurity, woman or man, we all do it. And especially in the workplace as well, we often find that, oh, I'm just a small potato. I shouldn't speak up to my authority. I don't know how to actually express myself. But that's your insecurity about you and what you can do. So when you say that, hey, you know what? I see me as me. First, by seeing the difference in you, you must first trust yourself for other people to trust you. So isn't it easier to trust yourself and believe in yourself? Saying some affirmation such as, I'm beautiful, I'm important, I matter, I deserve this. all of those little words can actually help you to start changing the language with yourself. By changing that, you will help yourself to eliminate your insecurity. And by looking at that, you will say, hey, I am actually confident. Like I mentioned multiple times, it's just by taking that little step. You can tell yourself one thing per day. It doesn't have to be perfect. Yes, I'm overweight, but I'm healthy and happy. Great. So I'm healthy and happy. I'm not overweight. I'm happy and healthy. Oh, I am not pretty enough as like Claudia Schiffer or Cindy Calvert or Kim K, all of those ones. But I'm beautiful just the way I am. I am beautiful just the way what I'm seeing at the moment. I can choose to use makeup to make myself feel better, but I don't need it if I don't have to. So all of that helping you to start to build your confidence instead of hiding from all those labels that you like to put on yourself. Because without you putting it on yourself first, other people can't stick the label onto you.
Mm. Such good stuff. It's so true. The piece of us and our insecurities, they're only true if we're deeming them true for ourselves, as opposed to thinking that they're true because the world is projecting them at us. We only believe in them if subconsciously they are already there. And it's so powerful, everything that you're saying, to make these small shifts. Because just like you've said this entire time, it doesn't have to happen in one big step. It's the little shift. It's the active decision on a daily basis to show up and have that perspective shift and truly become aware of like, okay, what are those insecurities? What is the story right now? And piece by piece, shifting that story, shifting the dialogue, shifting the narrative, because that is how our life manifests, is the story that we are telling. And because we're telling ourselves that story, then the behaviors that we're taking, the emotions that we're feeling, all of those different pieces. So when it comes to some of like the external societal pressures and things that are out there that kind of push perfection and make us look at our insecurities, what do you feel like are some of the things, or like the red flags or whatever you want to call them, out there that make us feel like we aren't perfect or that we can't be confident?
If we have a room of people and we ask them who have ever feel like that they're not good enough, that they lose their focus, they feel like that they're not motivated, I can bet you $100,000 that everyone in the room will actually hold up. So
Yeah.
what makes you different? There's no differences. We all have insecurity. We all have that moment of weakness. What the differences is that are we accepting that as not a fault, as just a part of human nature? So when we stop judging ourselves, we feel a lot better. And we have to understand in society that a lot of people like to use judgments on other people. Why is that? Because they worry about how they've been seen by perceiving in the world. So when you point a finger at someone, three fingers actually point back at you. So
Mm.
you are actually showing your insecurity. So when I hear other people saying that, oh, like she's dressed like a dag, like she doesn't look good enough, look at what she's wearing, I'm like, wow, I can thank you for showing me what your insecurity is, because you are worried being judged on how you look, how you dress, and how you perceive in the world. I understand and I respect that. And I'm sorry that you actually felt that way, because for me, I don't have that restriction. I have my freedom of being who I am and what I need. Understanding that point, it really helped me to have the mindset shift. Of course, in the split second when you someone tell you, wow, you dress like a dag, of course you feel bad. But then when you realize that, wow, that's in their insecurity, I hear you, I understand you, I respect you. Great. The anger comes down, your blood doesn't boil anymore, then you know that it's not your problem. It's their way of seeing the world. Everyone is allowed to have their belief and value. What we do on people that we don't align with, we can choose to step away.
Mhm.
It's as simple as that. Really? We can? Yes. And that's including family members. We are born by blood, but we don't have to see them if we don't want to. We don't allow toxic people or people who doesn't align us into our circle, and we can choose to do that. I'm not saying that if someone give you a comment of motivation and say, hey, this is something you can do, this will help you to become better, and you completely reject them onto it. There's always a difference between a constructive criticism than someone that who are just there to put you down. I believe that everyone have that intelligence of seeing the difference into it. If not, go and learn about this intelligence. It's simple as that, because it's all coming from experience. Little by little, you will be able to change the shift of mind, because understanding that when other people are attacking you, they are only showing you their insecurity, and you will feel a lot more superior inside, and you will feel a lot better about yourself.
Oh, absolutely. There's two things in that you said that I want to reemphasize is like pointing the finger outwards is a way for us to then turn those fingers back around and be able to recognize those things inside of ourselves. And the way that you said it is so perfect. And honestly, I hope triggers some of the people listening to this podcast episode, because we need to be triggered in order for things to change. And a lot of the times we're unaware of the fact that like actually you have that judgment for yourself, and that's why you're projecting it outward. So anybody who's listening to the podcast right now and you're like, no, I don't judge other people in that way, or no, I don't judge myself in that way, it's like, you do. That's why you are judging people. And in addition to that, what you said is like the environment that you're in, the people that you're around, and protecting your energy to continue to step into this place of acceptance for self, acceptance for others, and acceptance for what societally is seen as flaws, in air quotations, because nobody can see me, flaws is actually just part of human nature. That all of these things that we perceive make us less than or not good enough or whatnot are actually just part of human nature and are part of, in my opinion, like what actually makes us perfect. That we have all of these quirks, we have all of these different things, and that if you think that somebody is perfect, no, it's just part of human nature. I raised my hand when you said like every single person in the room would say like they haven't felt good enough or that they have flaws, etc. It's like even the most confident people that you see, the two of us sitting here, it's like there's insecurity there, and that's okay, because we still choose to show up.
Exactly. And it's a choice at the end of the day. How we let other people in, how do we let other people see us is also a choice. I don't really go well with a sentence like that, you fake it till you make it. I say, not really, in a sense. Yes, you can show other people you're confident enough, but you're not faking it, because confidence is always inside of you. It's always there. What you're doing is projecting it. You are projecting what you wanted to become by using your confidence. It's not faking, because there's no faking about it. People can tell and can smell it from a mile away of your fear. So people who are truly confident, they understand that this is fact. So they project and use that inside cell, that inside energy from them, and to project it out and seeing the result. And what we are projecting, we want validation. And most of the time it comes from the outside world. We want validation from other people. But I always say the first validation that you need to get is from yourself, by believing in yourself and trusting yourself. Once you have that, then other people's validation will help you even more than on the way. Because without you believing in yourself, just like a lot of women will get a compliment, wow, you look beautiful. Ah, you are too kind. It must be my glasses. It must be the wet lipstick I'm putting on. Instead of saying a simple thank you, no, because they don't accept it. They have to fight it, because they've been told, they've been learned in the society that we need to be humble. We cannot accept other people's compliment. We cannot accept other people's things, because it's not humbled when you do that. It's egotistic when you say thank you. When you believe in yourself, you're egotistic. No, I'm allowed to believe in myself. I'm allowed to think that I'm beautiful. So thank you. You're very kind. You look amazing too. We can choose our word. We can choose how we accept it. And guess what? By saying that thank you, you look amazing too. Makes both party happy. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
It's simple choice.
Oh, mic drop. So fucking good. It is. It's like, once again, we specifically as women have been conditioned to believe that believing in ourselves, thinking that we're beautiful, thinking that we are the shit makes us egotistical, makes us like not a good woman. And it's like, fuck that. Yes, you can be humble and you can also receive compliments. Like you can make a fuck ton of money and you can also be a good person. You can show up in whatever way that is going to allow your light to shine and still be good to your core and not have to be what societal pressures or judgments say that kind of person is. So thank you for that. That is so, so powerful. And one last question I have for you is tell us your one piece of no bullshit advice that you could give to someone that relates to this conversation about judgment and stepping into your power and owning your confidence and shining their light. Like, what is the one piece of no bullshit advice you would give to that woman?
Understand this, it will really help you. Our belief is only will to us. What is valuable is only will to us. What other people believe and their value has no fucking thing about for you. It has nothing to do with you. So what we do, we respect instead. One sentence that I learned in my NLP training, it says that I respect your model of the world. Your world is your world, is not my world. It makes me feel so powerful. It makes me feel so much release because I understand now all the judgments that they have on outside is their belief and their value. And I respect that and I just leave it at that. And for myself, I am allowed to have my own belief and my own value. So other people, they can choose to respect it as well. It's all a choice. So understand this, you always have a choice. Their belief is their belief. Their value is their value. You're allowed to have your own belief and value. That will give you a lot of power back. Understanding, respect, belief, and value.
So good. I know that this conversation and that piece of advice in and of itself is going to help everybody who listens. So Martha, thank you so much for all of your wisdoms, all of this like no bullshit approach of how people can step into their confidence. So where can everyone find you and what do you have going on right now that any of the listeners can be a part of?
I am always loving to help and support other people. I have some books that is available about confidence that I can share with your listeners. Feel free to download it from the links that I have sent. And they can find me by searching Super Confident Coach on the Google. I'm the first one that comes out.
Amazing. Yay. Awesome. And all of that is going to be linked down below. So anybody who's listening, go give Martha a shout, go give her a follow, connect with her, especially if you related to this conversation and you're ready to step into your confidence. You're ready to stop allowing perfection or perfectionism and judgment from holding you back and want to become the most confident version of yourself. So thank you again, Martha. This was such a powerful conversation.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for listening to today's episode. I am so grateful to have these no bullshit talks with you. If you enjoyed today's episode or the podcast as a whole, please spread the love by leaving me a review on iTunes or sharing the podcast with others. This is how I will be able to spread more of these good vibes and be able to make more of an impact on the lives of others. And if you're not already part of all of the goodness and communities that I have to offer, check out the show notes. I have links to the different ways that I can support you on your manifestation journey and help you live a life full of more money, fulfillment, and freedom. But that is all for now. So big love and hugs, and I will chat with you soon, babe.